morning and welcome to another episode of Mornings with Makayla. I am Makayla and welcome back to the final episode that is being filmed in this room, on this bed, in my teenage bedroom, which makes me very sad and makes this very hard to film, but also makes the title and the theme of this video that much more important. If you are new to this channel or have never seen one of these episodes before, it is basically a time where I join you from my bed on a Monday morning with no makeup on, what I wore to bed last night. I have shorts on, I promise. And we have a very casual and authentic conversation stripped of anything that would make this kind of over the top. I'm just going to bear it down and bring you a nice video from my bed, kind of like we're at a sleepover or like friends talking to friends. It's just supposed to make it more intimate and just nice. In today's episode, I'm drinking some green tea out of this Gunflint Trail Minnesota mug. Most of my mugs are packed in boxes because I move tomorrow, so this is my mom's. And this is the best part. Once I finish my tea, then I get the good stuff, the caffeine, the coffee. And this is a mug that my boyfriend actually got me at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland when he was there for work. It's a reminder that I need to pack this mug because I almost forgot it. But I usually try to drink my tea before I have coffee since coffee dehydrates you, and it's just better to get your metabolism started for the day and hydrate your body with some agua, or in my case, green tea. And last but not least, I will be linking all of the previous Mornings with Makayla episodes down below. I try to make them pretty centered around a theme that can be universal yet personal and talk about something that's going on in my life at that specific time, kind of just for me to remember this by. It's crazy because I remember the very first time I filmed one of these on this bed in this room. Now this is the last one and it just kind of makes it even harder to film, like I said before. But on that topic, I want to talk about falling out of love and kind of specifically how I've seen this happen in my life. The idea for this video came a couple months ago when I was having a really hard time in life. I kind of came to the conclusion that everything was getting more challenging because I was no longer in love with it. When you're no longer in love with something or someone or whatever you're doing in life, it can make it very difficult to continue following that path without that drive. I know I'm starting out very vague. I'll get more detailed, I promise. Falling out of love can happen with a career or passion choice of yours. It can happen with a relationship, and it can happen very naturally too, where you may not even notice that it's occurring until suddenly it just kind of hits you and it makes perfect sense. It can also happen at a milestone in your life, like this bedroom. I loved this bedroom, and I don't think I've ever really talked about this, not even in my big like room tour reveal, but I lived in this house for most of my life, and I was always upstairs in a rather small bedroom. I was 3 years old when I first moved in. It suited me for the time period, and then once I was around 12, well, first my entire childhood, all I wanted to do was move down to the basement. We had this huge bedroom, big walk-in closet, everything, and I wanted it, but our basement wasn't finished, so I couldn't move down. And then my sister got very sick. Our neighbor heard our story. He was also a contractor that finished basements. So when he heard what my family was going through, he wanted to give us a Christmas gift, and he finished our entire basement so that we would have more room, because when my sister was sick, we had a lot of medical needs around our house and it was very suffocating. So he expanded our home, blessed me with the most amazing personalized bedroom that I have been begging the universe for my entire life. At 14 years old, on Christmas Eve, I slept in this room for the first time and just cried, because it was everything I had been asking for my entire life. And I had this binder since I was probably 8 years old of sketches and things that I printed out from IKEA and like online that I just wanted this room to be. I made it come true, and it was bright pink and bright lime green, and we had beads hanging from the doorway, and we had Polaroids up, and it was a dream come true. And I was so in love with it. This bedroom was my life. It was my world. It was everything I could have ever asked for as a child. As I was entering my adolescence, it was everything that I needed, which is also very important because I needed more space. I needed space to become more creative and find myself and just really have a room of my own. And then I left for college and I said goodbye to this room, which wasn't the room that you know now yet. It was still strawberry pink and lime green, and it had a twin size bed and a little keyboard, which I do miss. I think about that room and it's nothing like what I see right now, which is odd at times because it once was. I left for college and I missed my bedroom. I missed that I used to paint with acrylics on the carpet floor, and that my cat Lizzie walked across it one night and got blue paw prints all over the carpet, and that they're still there and I can see them right now. I really missed this space. I missed my walk-in closet, oh my gosh, which I never showed you guys, but it was everything that a 14-year-old girl would dream of having. Even tomorrow when I move into my new place, I won't have that big of a closet, but I just know that I'll work up to one again when I'm older in life and I'll have a walk-in closet someday. Back to the story though, I was in college struggling and I missed my space so much. But when I eventually moved back home and dropped out of that school, it was no longer me. The bedroom that I grew up in no longer fit me. I was no longer as in love with it before in that present state. I loved it when I needed it, but I grew out of it and I fell out of love with that space. So I knew that if I needed to come home and make a change and work to pay back school, to go back to school, which is where I am right now, hey, that I needed a fresh start. So I dumped everything out of my room. I basically just purged everything that I owned into the hallway, painted the walls blue because that was the color that I loved at the time, and I've always wanted a blue bedroom. It's funny because right now I really want a yellow bedroom, and I think it's because my childhood bedroom was yellow and part of me just wants to like keep my childhood self alive and keep her safe and take care of her. And for 2 years, this bedroom was a masterpiece. Everything that I dreamed of. Once again, I bought myself a queen size bed, I bought new furniture. This was space that I needed to grow, and now I no longer feel the same way about it. I definitely have fallen out of love with my space. I love it in the sense that it has given me so much, but I think I'm ready to move on. And that's one example of falling out of love that I wanted to talk about. The next example is with relationships. It's no secret that I'm in one. It's also no secret that I have been in love before. And love is very tricky to talk about because it is extremely personal and universal, versatile and existential sometimes. Like, I always mention this with literature and writing, but if you strip down literature, all great writing is either about death or love. To take a really old example, I've learned that you can be so infatuated by someone to the point where you truly believe that like this is it, they are perfect, which also doesn't exist. And basically just because you're blinded by this person, you tend to start thinking very naively about the situation. And that happened to me at 19. A couple weeks ago, I was watching Instagram stories, and you know how Instagram stories just like automatically will flip to the next one if you're not careful? That happened, and I came face to face with this person that for some reason I like really loved back then, and I hope this doesn't come off as harsh. There's no way he's watching this, but I saw his face in his story and I felt nothing. In fact, I felt the opposite of nothing. I felt a sense of relief. The thought that came to mind when I saw it was, whew, dodged a bullet there. This instance got me thinking, because there must have been a point throughout these last 3 years where I went from believing that I was in love with this person to falling out of love. And I don't really know if this happened in an instance so quickly that I wasn't able to capture it, or if it was so gradual that I didn't realize it was happening until that moment where I saw that Instagram story and didn't recognize this person as who I once knew. Falling out of love is so different than falling in love, or maybe it's not different at all, and that's why people are so obsessed with talking about it and always wanting to write about it. But I wanted to make this video because I think it's important to know that it's okay to fall out of love, and that sometimes it happens and we don't even realize it. A good example is if you find yourself in a relationship where you guys used to build each other up and that you were so in love with each other, and perhaps you're struggling now, and when you have to analyze, well, what changed? You can't think of anything. Maybe the thing that changed is that the love that was once there isn't there anymore. And because you guys became so comfortable with each other, you didn't really notice it. I've seen this happen, not personally, but with friends in my life, or even YouTubers online, and I have seen a lot of those why we broke up videos on YouTube because they're juicy. But a common thread that I've seen in those videos of why YouTubers have broken up with their significant other isn't a big scandal or drama or because of cheating, but because of this theme that they fell out of love with each other. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I don't think it's reassured enough as an individual to know that, hey, this could happen and it's okay. We've always been so focused on falling in love that the thought that perhaps it may happen the alternative way never crossed my mind. But it's there and it happens. It happens every single day. It's happened with me. I'm sure it's happened with you, and I've seen it in different parts of my life, including my biggest passion, which is writing. I love writing. These last couple of years, it hasn't been the same. You know, I used to be able to write stories in an hour and poems, like make them out of air. I realized because I no longer spend my nights writing, I spend my nights editing or reading. And yes, I do journal, but it's different, and I don't write for fun as much as I used to. I think it's because I had fallen out of love with writing in the sense that it's not the same to me as it once was. And that took a long time to accept, because to me, writing is such a big part of my identity. I am a writer, and that's what I go by, and that's what I'm going to school for, and that's kind of what I want to be known most for. So for me to realize and admit that I have fallen out of love with everything that I know, writing to me is just everything, it can be hard to swallow and hard to really say out loud and admit to yourself you might not love something that once was your everything. And that's okay, because I found a new love. I love making YouTube videos. I'm still a writer, but I'm also a creator, and I'm just trying to be more than who I was before, and I think that's okay. Even though it makes me sad to accept that I have fallen out of love with something that I used to love dearly, it's still here, it's still part of me, it's just different. And I think that's what is about to happen in the next 24 hours with this bedroom. It will still be part of me, it will just be different. As I embark on the end of this Mornings with MakayK episode and this era in this bedroom, just know that it is totally okay if you have fallen out of love with something or someone in your life that used to be your everything. It happens, you're not alone. As soon as you accept it and kind of admit it to yourself, I think that's when the growth really shows, and that you'll never lose it. It will always stay with you, it will just feel different. By now, I'm sure that you could pick up that most of these Mornings with MakayK episodes I make to help me too, and that's where the themes kind of remain consistent to what I'm going through in life. And right now I'm dealing with falling out of love with a lot of areas in my life, but I'm also incredibly confident that I am about to fall in love with so much more. I hope that I fall in love with my new space, my new bedroom, my new home, and that I make it my own. I hope that I fall in love with new passions and continue creating and just falling in love with different aspects of my life. Sometimes when it seems like it's really tough, it's actually turning out to be really, really good. So for my last 24 hours in this bedroom, with this as my home, the one that I've always known, I'm going to go to class, go to work, pack, and that's that. I hope that you enjoyed this final episode in this era in this bedroom. Can you believe it's already over? I can't. Thank you so much for watching. I love Mornings with MakayK videos. They mean so much to me. Personally, it helps me when I look back on them. I feel like I'm reading an old journal entry. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because it really does help. Subscribe to this channel. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers. We really are like one big family over here with lots of love to go around, and it's never too late to join. All you have to do is hit subscribe. Also, don't forget to click the bell because this notifies you every time I upload a new video. I'm excited to show you guys my new home and my new space and hopefully fall in love with it. If you're comfortable, I would love it if you could comment something that you have realized you've fallen out of love with in your life. Curious to know what other examples we can come up with after self-reflecting, and just know that it's totally okay. And I just kind of want the reassurance that I'm not the only one who feels this way in life. I don't want this video to end because then I have to put all this in boxes and go to class and leave it all behind. It's also hard because I don't know the environment of the next time I'll see you guys in these episodes. So it'll be a surprise for both of us. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful day.